Hello and welcome to Game 2 of this 3-game series between the Port Jefferson Royals and the Pearson. And last game was surely an eventful one, a game that ended up getting taken by the Port Jefferson Royals at a score of 4-2. And now we enter game number 2. We already got some going on. First baseman just needs to get into his position, but we are about to start. And Dan Labrazzi takes the first pitch. First pitch off speed already. Going with that off-speed pitch to get the batter Luke Filippi swinging for an 0-1 count early on. The 0-1 pitch, that one is lined to the shortstop for the first out of the game. 2 pitches, 1 out. Pretty efficient, especially when I get things going against Luke Filippi, as he hit a monstrous home run in game number 1 just yesterday in Port Jefferson that catapulted the Port Jeff Royals over the Whalers in game number 1. And first pitch to the number 2 batter, Rory Rago, in there for a strike with the fastball. 0-1 pitch. It's going to be low and away, so it gets called a ball. But once again, in that last game, just crazy back and forth between the two sides, ended up finishing in the favor of the Royals. Next pitch goes with the off speed. That time clips the outside corner. And I get a 1-2 count. Rory thought that might have been a little bit outside, but umpire saw otherwise and called it a strike. Next pitch, that one. Ooh, we'll get that later, no worries. The camera fell because of the foul ball. We won't have any visual for now, but I'll make sure and take care of it in the middle of the inning. For now, you just get me. You get to enjoy my voice and everything that I'm saying, so have fun. 2-2 pitch now to Rory. Goes to the off-speed curveball. Fouled off towards the third base side. The count even at 2-2. If we look at last game, Rory had a pretty good game. Went 2 for 3 in that game with 2 singles of his own. Ooh, gets struck out on that pitch though, as Dan Labrazzi just fires another fastball low and away to get the second out of the inning and Labrazzi's first strikeout of the game. It's going to bring up Abby Rolfe here. Her last game, pretty uneventful for her, as the first pitch to her there comes in for a strike. In the last game, she struck out, was hit by a pitch, and then popped out. So it wasn't the most ideal offensive game for her, but she's always reliable on the defensive end. Next pitch in there for strike number 2 to make the count now 1-2. That time opted with the off-speed pitch. Dan really quick on the mound, as that one's going to be grounded over to the third base side. Third baseman going to make the play over to first. In there for out number 3 of the top of the first. Royals go down in order 1, 2, 3. And Pearson, in a crucial game number 2, starts the game off, not allowing any offense to happen on the Royals. But here come the Whalers up to bat. And they're going to bring out Vincent Cavaniola, Christian Pantina, and Dan Labrazzi to start things off in the bottom of the first. You're listening to Port Jeff Royals Varsity Baseball right here on the Royal Sports Network. Starting in the bottom of the first inning here, Luke Filippi taking the mound. First pitch into Cavaniola was in there for a strike, and then tried to get another fastball in there. That was unable to get done, but this pitch grounded over to the shortstop. Erickson unable to make the play, and Pearson Whalers already have a runner on board to start off the bottom of the first inning. That ball just bobbled. Finish this thing out here. Sorry, just gotta get my phone up. Deal with that in a second. Luke tries to pick off the runner at first base. Unable to do much damage there. Just checking it back. As Christian Pantina now steps on to the plate. He's going to go for a bunt. The snapback throw at first. That's going to be a close play. Ball gets out of the hands of Roy Rago, though. He did offer on the bunt, so it's going to be a strike. At least I believe it should. Right now on the scoreboard it says it's a 1-0 count. And they're going to go another look back to Cavaniola at first. I guess we're doing a radio broadcast today. I'm going to try once again to get this thing up, but you never know. You're going to try to lay down the bunt once again. Offered once again. Snapback throw once again. Ooh, another close play at first base. Umpire deems him safe back in there. Cavaniola getting back in there. The nick of time for the strike. But the count's going to be 0-2 to Pantina. The 0-2 pitch goes with the curveball. That's a grounder to second baseman Aronica. Going to try to make the play at second. Gets the leadoff runner, but unable to do anything after that. So only gets one out there, but it is the leadoff, so you do take that. As Pantina reaches on a fielder's choice, Pantina definitely going to be another threat to try to move to second base, especially with Dan Labrazzi up at the plate, the pitcher for today. For the Whalers, first pitch to him high and inside for ball number 1. Calls timeout to Dan. Luke was taking a little bit too much time for his liking. It's getting really unfortunate to not have the visual at the moment. And goes with the fastball, blows it right by Labrazzi to get back that strike. That makes it now 1-1 count. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Runner on first base with only one out here for the Whalers. Labrazzi grounds that one to third. Andriani unable to field it cleanly, but going to try to make the play at first. Unable to, as Labrazzi gets in there safely at first base. And now the Whalers are immediately threatening with the runner in scoring position in the bottom of the first inning. That one was hard hit, so I'll give him a single for it. I was going to bring up Max Krotman here, the center fielder for the Whalers. Lefty, as that one's popped up towards the first base side. Rory Rago's under it, couple players under it, and it drops in fair territory. They're going to try to get the out at second base. They got the out at second due to the force. And are they saying that the runner at third didn't tap? I don't know. There's a conversation right now between the Port Jeff coaches and the umpire. Not 100% sure what's going on. But I have a fielder's choice being out, and I have that second play at second base being the second out of the inning. I only have 2 outs here. I think Port Jeff is trying to say that there's 3 outs. Not sure where they're seeing the third out. It's what we're going to get today. Off-speed pitch fouled off to keep the count 2-2 here with 2 outs. Reed Kelsey having an amazing at-bat here. Just fouling off these tough pitches that are being thrown by him. Let's see who's able to get out on top here. Another fastball and another foul ball from the first baseman here. I don't know where my pen went. Oh, there it is. Another pitch, another foul. And that one's going deep to left field. That one unable to get caught. Abby Rolfe drops the ball in left field. Both of the runners score. Reed is on second base. And the Whalers take a 2-0 lead on that deep fly ball. Unfortunately, it is an error, but that right there is just an absolute tone setter for the Pearson Whalers, especially in this crucial game 2 that they need. Able to get that big knock off the bat from Reed Kelsey. And now the Whalers hold a 2-0 lead in game 2 of this championship series. It's going to force Luke now to really double down. It's not going to be as easy as he thought it would be today. How about bat? It's going to be Gavin Gilbride, who fouls that ball to the backstop. And in last game, Gavin Gilbride went 0 for 3, but I do have to mention his second at-bat of the game hit an absolute rocket towards center field. Just great contact on the ball. Unfortunately for him, it just found a glove. Now finds himself down 0-2 in this count with 2 outs. Kelsey over there at second base. Goes for the fastball for strike number 3 to get the final out of the inning. But the damage was done by the Whalers just early on. What a long bottom half of the first that was, with all the confrontation and all that nonsense that was going on. But nonetheless, Pearson takes a 2-0 lead as we head into the second inning of play. You're listening to the Port Jeff Royals Varsity Baseball right here on the Royal Sports Network. Into the second inning of action in this matchup between the Royals and the Whalers. Royals back up at the plate, and in the first inning weren't able to get anything going against the pitcher Dan Labrazzi, and that's going to change immediately in the second inning as Kyle Erickson, it's a leadoff single to start things off, and the Royals are looking to get those runs back that they lost in the first inning. Kyle does have some wheels. Not too sure if they're going to be looking to steal with him. The first pitch to the now batter, Natty Mullen. Low and away for ball number 1. And Natty going to pop that one up towards the back here. Right behind a couple of fans here. No damage done. Everyone is safe. And if we look back at the last game, Natty Mullen went 2 for 3 as well, including one of those RBIs in that 4-2 ball game. A really nice job by him in that one to really get things going. The timeouts are called by Natty. Once again, this inning is probably super crucial. Pearson looking to bounce off of that momentum, while Pearson looking to bounce back. Another foul ball. Always got to give it a courtesy look just to make sure I'm going to be safe back here. I'm right behind the backstop. That pitch popped up. That one's another one that's going to be out of play. Counts 1-2 to number 66 for the Port Jefferson Royals. As I was saying previously, this inning is super big. Royals need to be able to get at least 1 run back in this inning. Just make themselves feel good. Snapback throw back at first base. Unsuccessful. That was a really nice throw by the catcher, Gilbride. Count 2-2 to Natty Mullen here in game 2. Goes with the off-speed pitch. That one's going to be 2 upstairs. Makes the count full at 3-2. Pitch, another off-speed. That one low this time for ball number 4. And Natty gets himself on to first base, and that makes the situation a little bit harder for the starting pitcher, Dan Labrazzi, as that's going to mean the runners on first and second base with 0 outs here in the top of the first inning, and that's going to bring up Danny Owens. He's going to have a sac bunt opportunity, converts it really well as he moves the runners to second and third. Now the Port Jeff Royals have a situation with 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. The only downside of this situation is that the Port Jeff Royals are looking at the bottom half of their order to try to get it done. Frankie Andriani's had some clutch hits before, had a walk-off hit earlier in the season. Looking to have another clutch hit here. His first pitch fastball blown right by number 3, Frankie Andriani. With the count 0-1. Brazzi's going to step off the mound just for a second, just to make sure he's got the right signs. He's going to get back on the mound. 0-1 pitch. That one, strike called for the home plate umpire. After that, it's going to have a conference between Dan and Gavin, pitcher and catcher. So those secretive conversations before, and always wondering what they're saying. Just get a little bit more insight. Unable to hear anything. Is that pitch? That one's going to drop low for ball number 1. Making the count 1-2 here. Runners on second and third, top of the second inning here. Strike number 3 on Frankie Andriani, and that's 2 outs. And the top of the second inning. It's going to bring up number 4, Evan Raymond, the young kid on the team. But don't let his age fool you. He definitely has a lot of talent coming up. And he's put together some really solid at-bats and throughout the season. He's going to need to have a big at-bat here in this game. First pitch to him, fastball down the middle. No offer from Raymond. Does get called for strike number 1. Oh, 1 pitch. That one low and inside. The count now 1-1. Every inning has been tense so far. The exception on the top of the first. Tries to go with the off-speed pitch that clipped the outside, but deemed a little bit too far upstairs and outside from the home plate umpire to make the count 2-1. That one's inside, fouled off though by Evan Raymond to even up the count 2-2 here. As I was saying, Raymond consistently puts up solid at-bats after solid at-bats. You just hope that for the Port Jeff side that they turn into hits. I gotta say, they're calling for the fastball as the pitcher, then shoots with the off-speed pitch. That ball's ripped over to out of play, unable to make the play as the right fielder. That was an interesting situation, though, by the pitcher calling for the fastball. He called his own pitch and said he was going to throw a fastball, then tried to get into the mind of the opposing catcher and threw an off-speed pitch. And forced Raymond to get ahead of that one and rip it foul. But now the 2-2 pitch. Another fastball. Blows it by him for strike number 3. And you can just see the emotion From the Pearson Whalers coming off of the field, they know how much this means. And it's going to continue to get better. As the game continues on, the intensity is only going to get bigger and bigger as the innings progress. But no runs for the Port Jeff Royals as they strand a couple of runners in scoring position in that inning. They had a hit, a walk, and then a sac bunt and 2 Ks to round it out, leading us to the bottom of the second inning, where Pearson looks to continue and score more runs to get some more insurance in this game. You're listening to the Port Jefferson Royals Varsity Baseball right here on the Royal Sports Network. Bottom of the second inning here. Gets the start, and that one check swing pop up towards the first baseman, and 1 pitch, 1 out. As number 17, Charles Schaefer, just an unfortunate sequence there. He didn't really want to swing at it, but the bat contacted with the ball and led to a pop up for an easy out. And if you're Luke Filippi, you'll take that every single at bat if you can get it. Quick 1 out here in the bottom of the second. It's going to bring up the DH for the Whalers, Paul Rossell. Last game we saw him pitching for a little bit as the relief pitcher, and today doing his work at the plate with the DHing duties. 1-1 pitch now from Luke Filippi. That one's low. Throw nothing but fastballs so far in this count, 2-1. Seeing a little bit of control problems as that one's high upstairs. Luke Filippi once again going with the fastball. 3-1 now the count. The Royals definitely want to eliminate any base runner they can, as that one's in there. Strike number 2. Let's see, Luke Filippi classically working fast. The 3-2 pitch. Fastball again. That one's fouled towards the parking lot right over the Port Jeff dugout. Staying alive in this one. Something that the Whalers have done a pretty decent job throughout this game is just staying alive, staying in these counts, and making Luke Filippi work on the mound. Timeout called, but not really given. 3-2 pitch once again. Fastball. Strike number 3. For the first out of the inning comes the first strikeout that looked really good on that. This could bring up the number 8 batter. That one's grounded to the third baseman. Unable to make the play is Frankie Andriani, and because of another error, by the Royals, that was Brendan Burke, able to get on first base with that error. And you just look at the quick early on numbers. 3 errors from the Port Jeff Royals and led to runs. Snapback throw to first base after the pitch. Unable to get the out. Definitely keeping him close. So 1-0. After that first fastball was called a ball. Second pitch now fired. That one a little bit too upstairs. I know that's probably a pitch that Luke Filippi wanted to get the call on, but didn't get the call in this scenario. So now the count not in his favor, 2-0. Pitch high upstairs. Went for the fastball again. This time, Cavagnola offered on it. Now 2-1 after that. Luke Filippi definitely going to take that gift that was given to him. He was staring down the barrel of a 3-0 count, but now he has a possibility of an out as Frankie Andriani under it. Make sure he gets that one after he's been a little bit loose with the baseball. The Whalers unable to get across any runs in the second inning, and as we go to the third, the score stays 2-0 in favor of the Whalers in this Suffolk County Final Series. You're listening to Poor Jeff Royals baseball right here on the Royal Sports Network. First pitch of the third inning from Dan Labrazzi. Fastball that went outside, and back here with the Royals on the offensive side, looking to scratch across one run if they can. They're going to try, obviously, to get all those runs back, but it always starts with one. Poor Jeff unable to convert on 2 runners in scoring position in the second inning. And now in this inning with Joey Aroniga starting, leading off this inning for the Royals, up 3-0 in the count. And I mentioned this time and time again as he's going to take 4 pitches and walk over to the first base to get things going for the Port Jefferson Royals. It's another time where they've gotten a runner on first base to start off an inning. This time, now with the top of the order set to be up, looking to capitalize and get the runs back, and to try and do that's going to be Luke Filippi. First pitch he sees is going to be low. Gilbride doing a good job of keeping that pitch in front of him. Definitely don't want it getting past him over here towards the backstop. It's just not a good situation out here. And Labrazzi is going to ask for a new ball after that one hit the dirt. Pitchers always wanting the best grade baseballs they can have, just to get that best feel that they can have. That pitch went with the off speed this time and finds the strike zone after throwing 5 straight balls. Went with the off speed pitch and finds his first strike in the inning to Luke Filippi. That time attacks the outside corner, gets the call. Luke Filippi not liking that call, but that has been a call that's been there the entire game. Pretty consistent has been the home plate umpire thus far. Another pitch, that time a little bit too outside. It's even up the count 2-2. And just the intensity between these teams, every single pitch means so much. As Luke Filippi fouls that ball off to the backstop here. Keeps the count 2-2. And you just know if Luke Filippi does get out, you're just going to hear it from the entire stands and the entire dugout. So anytime you're able to get Luke Filippi out, you're doing a pretty good job if you're the pitcher. Next pitch goes for the off-speed pitch again. Connected was Luke Filippi, but a little bit too foul as it goes right past the third base line. Keeping the count here at 2-2. Filippi stepping back onto the plate. Labrazzi setting up on the mound. Pitch again. It's going to be a little bit too inside and hits him. Oh, and the umpire's going to say to bring him back, because maybe he didn't offer to get away from the pitch. The blue deemed him to move into the pitch instead of getting away from it. It's going to make Luke Filippi step back onto the plate. It's going to keep the count at 3-2 is the count. Mucked that ball inside. 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Hey, Luke Filippi to get the first out of the inning, and as I mentioned, you're going to hear that the entire time. And after that strikeout, Labrazzi's got to be feeling good. Still a runner on first base, though, and Roy Rago, who's had his fair share of big hits this year, steps up to the plate. First pitch fouled off to the backstop. Again, being really aggressive so far in this game, going right at the batters. Knows that he's a plus matchup on most of these batters as the Whalers, one of the Whalers' top pitchers. and uses that to advantage, just pouring in those fastballs. But that pitch goes with the off speed, gets it to fall, which he's done a couple times in this game. Really has nice control with that off speed so far. And the count 0-2. One out here. Goes back with the off speed. That one's going to be popped foul. Back here. Everyone gets away from it. Sigh of relief as nobody gets hit once again. And the count remains 0-2. To repeat the 0-2 pitch after that foul ball. Pitch comes in, off speed again. That one's ripped. It's going to be foul. Unable to make the play is the left fielder. And we've seen that a couple times. Dan really getting these batters up in front of that off-speed pitch because of the velo on the fastball. Really able to get those pitches in there and force them to swing a little bit ahead. Now the 0-2 pitch again goes back to the fastball, strikes him out for out number 2 and strikeout number 2 of the inning as Labrazzi looks to stop yet another attempt of offense from the Port Jefferson Royals. First pitch, off speed once again, falls in there for strike number 1. Labrazzi really having amazing control on that pitch so far early on in this game. That pitch could be inside and gets the call to make it 0-2 now the count with 2 outs. Joey still at first base for the Royals. Probably not going to see him steal, but he is there. And the 0-2 pitch goes with the fastball, that time low and away, to bring this count's first ball, and Labrazzi's going to get another exchange of the balls. (2-0) in this game so far, as you can see on the screen. After a super eventful bottom of the first inning led to 2 runs for the Whalers. Off-speed pitch. Win the 1-2 count, that one high and inside to even up things at 2s. Labrazzi finds his pitch, sets fires high upstairs. 3-2 now the count. Labrazzi had Luke Filippi 3-2. Was able to strike him out, now trying to do the same thing here against number 44. Labrazzi, fastball outside, but gets the strike call with the swing for 3 Ks in the inning to strike out. Oh, technically strike out the side. It was a gentleman's strikeout the side as he walked the first batter, then got the next 3 strikeouts. So the score stays 2-0 here as we head into the bottom of the 3rd inning. You're still listening to the Port Jeff Royals Varsity Baseball right here on the Royal Sports Network. Back here for game number 2 in this potential 3-game series for the county championship here between the Port Jefferson Royals and the Pearson Whalers, where in game 2, the Whalers currently up 2-0, a little bit reminiscent of game 1, where the Royals were up 2-0. The home team seeming to always start 2-0 in these games, as Luke Filippi getting back onto the mound, fires the first pitch in there for a strike. Goes with the off-speed after. Against Pantina here. Make it an 0-2 count, I believe. The 0-2 pitch, that one low, not going to get a call. To make the count 1-2. And this is a big comeback, inning. Every inning from now on is a big comeback inning after that first one. It's going to be a tough play at first base. Rory passes to Filippi. That's why you practice the PFPs, to make plays like those and get an easy out, just as they were able to do in that situation.
Let's go, Dan.
So going to bring up Labrazzi here, and Labrazzi was able to get his single of his own in the first inning. It really jump-started a bunch of things. Jump-started the scoring for the Whalers. His first pitch this at-bat is going to be swung on and missed. So 0-1 pitch comes in. That one, did he check his swing? Yes, he did. On that slider or curveball from Luke Filippi. Goes back to the fastball on the 1-1. Gets Labrazzi to swing and miss on the high heat. It's been a pitch that we've seen a couple of these Whalers and Port Jeff Royals batters swing at, trying to go for it again. Gets the strike three call on 3 high heaters for the second out of the third inning. And as I mentioned before, getting these quick innings on the defensive end for the Royals really starts to get that momentum pushing back towards your side. So if the Royals do eventually start to make a comeback and score some runs, these type of innings are the innings that you look at as to why and how everything started to move in the opposite direction. But that's going to bring up Max Krotman here. Last time was able to get on due to an error from the third baseman. And now finds himself even in the count, 1-1. That one inside, jammed to Luke Filippi, able to make the sweet toss over to first base for the third out of the inning. And as we go into the fourth inning, score stays 2-0 here in Game 2 of a potential 3-game series in this county championship finals. You're listening to the Port Jeff Royals Varsity Baseball right here on the Royal Sports Network. And here we go into the top of the fourth inning here, as the Pearson Whalers are sticking on to their 2-0 lead, while the Port Jeff Royals are trying to get back. First pitch hit by Kyle Erickson to right field, able to make the play is the right fielder for the Whalers, Charlie Culver. Getting a nice play. He had a nice play in game number 1 yesterday, and a similar situation, and a ball hit to right field, able to make the diving catch, and in this game able to resemble that. And we got to talk about the pitcher for the Pearson Whalers, Dan Labrazzi, before the inning. Forget who the song was called, as that pitch was called for a strike on the outside corner, 1-1 the count. Before the inning, Labrazzi was singing along to the lyrics of the song they were playing. And he's just been in his own zone so far in this game. So far, 3 strikeouts in this game. He does have a couple walks as well, but actually 3 strikeouts in that last inning, I should mention. I got to update my own counter. He has 6 strikeouts in this game. Absolutely carving so far in this game, but to Natty Mullen, count 2-2. Goes with the fastball inside. Labrazzi, classic twirl once again. For all the viewers, I really wish I could get that close up, as a off-speed pitch able to foul off was Natty Mullen. The visual, really wanted it to get it up to the backstop here, trying to get you a more clearer view, a more elevated view, but these balls just kept on hitting the backstop in this game, so I had to default back to right back here. And Natty Mullen works a walk here in the fourth inning to try and jumpstart any sort of offense for the Port Jefferson Royals. It's going to lead to another little conference between pitcher and catcher. So they're going to sweep off the plate, making sure that everyone can see it as best as possible. It's going to bring up the batter, Danny Owens, in his last at-bat. Had a really nice sacrifice bunt. Unfortunately for the Royals, didn't amount to any runs. But first pitch in this at-bat be a fastball taken down the middle, and that was a pitch that probably you want to see them offer on. 0-1 pitch, that one, another fastball fouled into the glove of Gilbride to make the count 0-2. 0-2 pitch, that one's lined into center field. Looks like they're going to be under it, unable to make the play. We're going to have some runners in motion. Natty Mullen's going to go around third base. He trips a little bit. There might be no play at home. Natty Mullen's able to score for the first run. Danny Owens able to come up with a huge hit for the Port Jeff Royals to try and start the comeback here in the top of the fourth inning. It's going to lead to another conference between pitcher and catcher. And as that conference happens, Coach Rosen and the next up on deck batter is going to talk to Frankie Angiani and the third base umpire. Oh, not the third base umpire, the third base coach, Coach Garafola. And in his last at-bat, it's going to be interesting how they try and run this. I'm not sure if they go with a bunt to move them over. I'm not sure exactly how you want to play this if you are the Royals. Angiani struck out in his last at-bat, and the first pitch of this at-bat, fastball in that outside corner that Labrazzi's really been doing a good job painting throughout this game so far to get that first strike. That ball is going to be high and inside. Make the count now 1-1. And a single is all the Royals need here. Unable to get it on that pitch. Make the count 1-2, and Frankie looks like Labrazzi's just gassing these pitches by him. And to be fair, he is doing that. Next pitch, that one in there. Strike number 3, went with the fastball again for the second out of the top of the fourth inning, which is going to bring up the DH for the Royals in this game, Evan Raymond. Raymond fell victim to the strikeout in his previous at-bat as well. And that second inning was a big inning for the Whalers when they had 2 runners in scoring position than the Royals and unable to get any across. Now, similar situation, but only 1 runner in scoring position with Raymond. And he's going to lift that one foul towards the first base side. Are they going to be able to make the play? No, they are not. And Evan Raymond's going to step back to the plate with an 0-1 count. And in those types of situations, he just barely wasn't able to make that play. You almost feel like you got a second life in those scenarios, and when you get a second chance at an at-bat, you gotta want to try to make the most of it. Let's see if Evan Raymond's able to do it here in this at-bat. That pitch grounded, hits Labrazzi. He's going to be able to make the play at first to end the inning for the Whalers. But in this top of the fourth, the Royals able to scratch across and start to mount their own little comeback in this game as they're able to score a run back to make this game only a 1-run, 2-1 ball game. You're listening to the Port Jeff Royals Varsity Baseball right here on the Royal Sports Network. Here we go into the bottom of the fourth inning, where the Whalers are looking to get back that run that they lost in the top half of the fourth inning. Score now 2-1, still in favor in the Whalers' direction in the second game of a potential 3-game series. But in this first at bat. Kelsey, after reaching on an error before, gets hit with a barrage of off-speed pitches that led to a strikeout for the first out of the bottom of the fourth. That marks Luke Filippi's third strikeout of the game. You're seeing just an excellent battle of pitchers in this one between Labrazzi and Luke Filippi. Two of the best in the class. As the first pitch not going to get the call on it, deemed upstairs from the home plate umpire to Gavin Gilbride. The 1-0 pitch, fired, fouled off right by the dugout of the Royals to make it into a 1-1 count here, 1 out, bottom of the fourth. Went with that slider once again, wasn't able to catch Gilbride fishing as he was able to do against the previous batter, making the count 2-1. That one, next pitch, fouled off. The ball got stuck in the backstop. Make the count 2-2. The 2-2 pitch goes with the fastball once again. That one's popped up out of play. 2-2 pitch once again. See what they go with. Luke Filippi going for his own pitch. Wants to go with the fastball. Gets a ground ball to himself. Able to flip it over towards first once again to get the second out of the inning. And we've seen that a couple times in this game. I think we got 3 times in this game where Luke Filippi is able to make that play. He attacked the outside corner, forced Gilbride to kind of fish out there to get that ball because he knows the outside corner has been getting called as the catcher of the opposition. The first pitch, though, to Charles Schaefer upstairs with the fastball. It's been a big thing in this game, has been these high fastballs. And it does have to do a little bit with the mound. Here at this park, the mound is elevated a lot more than it is in Port Jeff. It's that 2-0 pitch, falls in there for a strike. So what it does, it forces you, you think you're throwing at home, and usually those pitches are falling into the strike zone as the 2-1 pitch gets fouled off to even things up at 2-2. But as I was saying, you're used to kind of a more level mound, and then once you get over here, you're forcing to pull down even more on those pitches to get them to fall into the zone. As Luke Filippi opted with the off-speed pitch inside to make the count full. The 3-2 pitch, that one popped up into left center. It's going to be caught by Danny Owens to end the fourth inning, as the Whalers were unable to respond to the Port Jefferson Royals scoring the run in the top of the fourth. But as we go into the fifth inning, score remains 2-1 right here in this game 2 of a potential 3-game series between the Port Jefferson Royals and the Pearson Whalers. You're listening to Port Jeff Royals varsity baseball right here on the Royal Sports Network. And as we enter the top of the fifth inning, Dan Labrazzi takes the mound once again for his fifth inning of service. And the look is going to be similar to what he saw in the third inning with Joey Aronica at the plate to start things off in that last at-bat against Joey. It was 4 pitches, 4 balls, and so far to Joey Aronica, Dan Labrazzi struggling to find the zone against him as it's been 6 straight balls to him. That pitch looks like it's going to finally find the zone for strike number 1, making the count 2-1, but I expect Joey Aronica to stay patient as the zone's been hard to find. But on a pitch down the middle, you expect an offer like that one was to make the count even 2-2 after 2 straight balls. Labrazzi able to find the strike zone 2 more times, but after a 2-2 pitch fell low and outside, makes the count full at 3-2. The 3-2 pitch, that one's grounded towards the first base. Reed Kelsey able to make that play for the first out of the inning. And as that number 9 batter, you really want to be able to get on base to turn the lineup card over for the leadoff batter. But he is unsuccessful in doing that. So that's going to bring up the leadoff batter, Luke Philippi, so far in this game 0 for 2 after a lineout and a strikeout. And that last strikeout was a little bit of a controversial one as he was hit on a 2-2 pitch, but home plate umpire told him to come back home as he deemed that he kind of leaned into the pitch. The 0-1 pitch gets in there, went for the off speed, a pitch that Labrazzi's really been able to locate in this one so far, but unsuccessful on that pitch. Make the count 1-1. The 1-1 pitch, that one, another off speed slider that gets fouled off towards the third base side. And now we have a 1-2 count. Labrazzi against Luke Philippi. What a battle. That pitch, that one finds the zone on the outside corner for strike number 3. Luke Philippi strikes out for the second time in this game and marks Labrazzi's 8th strikeout throughout this game. It's going to bring up Roy Rago, number 2. Misses on the first pitch, did Labrazzi. The 1-0. That one checked. I'm not sure if that would have been called a strike, but since he fouled it off, it doesn't really matter. Make the count now 1-1. Labrazzi working at a fast pace, really staying in his zone, and went with the off-speed pitch. And it looks like maybe he's working a little bit too fast. Little conversation. Umpire just allowing the catcher to walk it off. So he was clipped with that fouled off pitch. It's going to allow Rory to kind of re-find his ground, and it might do a service for Rory in this at-bat, as it might take Danny off of his zone. But the 1-2 pitch coming in. Off speed, that one's grounded over to the third base. That's going to be a tough play. They're going to throw it over, and he's going to run to second base since that one went to the fence by him. And he's going to get to second base due to that throwing error. I'm not sure that he would have been out if the throw was made, because that was such a tough play. The ball died right on that grass on the third base side. But nonetheless, the Royals are in a situation with another runner in scoring position with 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning and an opportunity to tie it on just 1 base hit. But that one's going to get to the first baseman, Reed Kelsey. It's going to get by him. Let's see, Rory's going to be waved home. Play's going to be at the plate. Is he going to be safe? No! Out is made at the plate. Aggressive base running doesn't work for the Port Jefferson Royals as they tried to get that out. And that play is going to be crucial to deciding in this game. The Royals unable to get across any runs in that inning. And as we head towards the bottom of the 5th, the score stays 2-1. You're listening to the Port Jeff Royals Varsity Baseball right here on the Royals Sports Network. Here we go into the bottom of the 5th, excuse me. And that top of the 5th was an exciting one to say the least. I mean, you heard it after that aggressive base running by the Royals, trying to get Rago to score there, unable to make it happen as he was gunned at the plate for the final out of the inning. But now as we head towards Now the bottom of the fifth. Paul Rossell on the plate. Already down early in the count, 0-2. Just fouled off that previous pitch. Next pitch goes with the off-speed. That one's line. Gets to the second baseman, though. Joey Aronica able to make the play to first for the first out of the inning. And it must be said, if we do head to a third game in this series, we're going back to Port Jeff. It's going to be on Friday afternoon. So if that does happen, everyone be prepared to come back here, as it seems like if this score holds up, that could be the case. It's going to bring up Brendan Burke now, who last time reached on an error. First pitch, that one low. Natty unable to get that pitch. Back in the zone. That one, Brendan Burke lines it into left field for a single. And Brendan Burke with a one-out single to get the offense moving for the Pearson Whalers in the bottom of the fifth inning. And that was a great job by the 9 batter to flip the order around to get back to the number on Vincent Cavagnola, who's 1 for 2 in this game after singling to start off the game and then popped up, as there's going to be a warning dish towards Port Jeff, one of the coaches. Every time you get an intense game like this, always going to be words flying from side to side. But sometimes, when you cross the umpire's line, he's going to dish that warning, and then the next time out, you're out of the game. But back into the game, that one's popped up. And foul for strike number 1 in this at-bat. Again, Vincent Cavagnola up at the plate. And the 0-1 pitch doesn't fall into the zone. It's going to be a ball to even up the count at 1. 1-1 pitch from Luke Filippi. Delivers, shoots, and tipped into the glove of Natty Mullen for strike number 2. Make the count now 1-2 if the Whalers are able to scratch across a run in this inning. You got to believe the momentum is just totally on their side, and they might have a big chance of taking this one home, which is why it's paramount for the Royals to try and stop that offense from happening, as that ball's going to get thrown to center field. There's going to be no play on the runner going to third base, and with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning, makes the count 2-2. The 2-2 pitch to Cavagnola. That fastball, swing and miss for the strikeout to halt the crowd a little bit. Crowd buzzing left and right. I love these games. Every pitch matters, every play matters. It's not like one of those games where everyone's kind of dogging it. In this game, every single pitch, every single every single at-bat matters even more than the next one. And as we go to Christian Pantina, who is 0 for 2 in this game, he looks to bring in another run, as that one's grounded to Joey Aronica at second base. He has to make that play, throw over to first to get the final out of the 5th inning. And after an eventful 5th inning, no runs come across from either side. And as we go towards the 6th inning, score stays 2-1. You're listening to Port Jeff Royals Varsity Baseball right here on the Royal Sports Network. Here we go, top of the 6th inning here in this second game of the Class C County Championship Series between the Port Jefferson Royals and the Pearson Whalers. Currently, the Whalers holding on to a 2-1 lead. And Kyle Erickson up at the plate. This is his 3rd time today being the leadoff batter. First pitch, opts for the off speed, gets the call for strike number 1. Strike, ooh, went for that time. And another time they're going to call him back into the box. As they're going to throw somebody out. Someone's getting thrown out here. A lot of controversy in this one. You know, on one end, when you look at the Royals side, they thought that this is the second time that their batter should have been hit by a pitch and gotten awarding the base. But both of those times, the batter has been told to get back into the box. And as we step back into things here, Kyle Erickson still at the plate. Count 1-1. And Erickson's going to line that one into center field for a single. And Erickson, after a little bit of controversy, gets on base for a leadoff single. Now, this isn't the first time that Erickson's been on for a leadoff single. Happened in the 2nd inning, but in that inning the Royals were unable to get any runs across. Now obviously Port Jeff looking to change things, as you could hear the Royals dugout. As I mentioned, every single pitch is just going to get hyped to the moon in these sort of situations. As Labrazzi's just going to take his time, step off the mound, make sure he's all set. Erickson at first base. Labrazzi steps off the mound once again. Natty Mullen at the plate, and 0 for 0 in this one. It's a peculiar situation where you walk both times you're at the plate. Snapback throw back at first base, unable to get anything to happen. Gets by the first baseman into right field. He stays at first base. And after a peculiar sequence, the count turns to 2-0, and is it 2-0 or 1-1? I believe it's 1-1 that count. Next pitch, that one's popped foul. It's not one. That one's not coming back. Make the count now 1-2. 1-2 the count here on the top of the 6th. No outs with Kyle Erickson at first base. That one's going to be grounded by... Ooh. He's gotten thrown out of the game because of it. Kyle ran into a runner, ran into the second baseman on that play. He ran into Brendan Burke, and because of the way that he ran into him, was tossed out of the game because of it. And they're going to call both runners out because of it. It's going to end the top of the 6th. And I guess they presumed that the double play would have been made there. So the 6th inning comes and goes. comes and goes for the Royals, and once again, after a leadoff single, no runners can come across. This game has just been so eventful with so many controversial moments, whether it's been hit by pitchers, runners running into players, just barking back and forth. You know, it's not something that you really like to see in these games, but it's something that in high school sports, especially a big game like this against two schools who don't particularly are the best friends of each other, you expect to see these kind of situations to happen. So people are getting thrown out left and right. Whatever the case is outside of these lines, what's happening inside the lines is that the game still stays at 2-1, and we go to the bottom sixth inning. Staying 2-1, Pearson Whalers up ahead in this game. And when we come back, we'll have the bottom of the sixth inning here on the Royal Sports Network. All right, so bottom of the sixth inning here in this crazy game between the Pearson Whalers and the Port Jefferson Royals. Score still staying at 2-1, as in the previous inning, or the previous half inning, the Royals were unable to capitalize on a leadoff single, and because of the ejection to Kyle Erickson in that last half inning, Port Jeff Royals have to make some defensive adjustments. I don't have them all right in front of me, but from what I could see, it seems that Roy Rago was moved over from first base to shortstop, and Evan Raymond, who was the DH in this game, who was DHing for Kieran Laffey, is now at first base, which means that Kieran Laffey, who's at right field, has to get out of the game because they can't both be fielding and be hitting for each other. That just wouldn't make a lot of sense. So they're going to have to bring Christopher Lawton to play the right field position in this game, and a lot of things have just happened. I don't really know how else to describe it other than that. But nonetheless, here we are in the bottom of the sixth inning. Luke Filippi back on the mound, and the first hitter he's going to face is Dan Labrazzi. First pitch fastball fouled off towards the parking lot. To start off the count, 0-1. Second pitch went for the outside off-speed pitch, unable to get the strike call on it to make the count 1-1. Now the 1-1 pitch. Went with the off-speed again. Labrazzi swings over it to make it a 1-2 count. Now Luke Filippi looking to get an early start into this sixth inning. Goes with the fastball, though. Unable to get the strikeout on that pitch, as it was low, and evens up the count at 2s. Luke Filippi shakes off a pitch, agrees with the next one, goes with the off-speed, again on the outside corner, unable to catch a swing at a Labrazzi, as he was looking for that the entire way through. And 3-2 pitch, you got to imagine you're going to get a fastball here from Luke Filippi. And he does, but it's going to be inside. And the Whalers start off this inning with a leadoff walk. Any run that the Whalers are able to get in this half inning here is just another nail in the coffin of this game. Obviously, the Royals could come back in the top half of the seventh, but so far their offense hasn't looked like they've been able to do anything against Labrazzi. And first pitch to the new batter, Max Kropman. It's going to be high. The 1-0 pitch. That one's flown into center field. Daniel Owens gets under it, makes the play for the first out of the sixth inning. And there's been a lot of well-hit balls once again in this game. Same thing as we saw in last game. A lot of well-hit balls that just finding gloves of the opposition, unable to convert them into hits. And after that fly, it's going to bring up Reed Kelsey, who's 0 for 2 in this game, with reaching on an error and a strikeout. First pitch, Luke Filippi opted with the off-speed pitch. Unable to get the call as it was upstairs and then dropped by Luke Filippi. Evan Raymond drops the ball back at first base after a pickoff check. Back at first, and once again, Raymond, a young varsity kid, seems to be a little clap going here by the Pearson Whalers fans to get in the head of the pitcher. That pitch comes in, grounds over to the second baseman. They get one. Are they able to turn two? No, they're not. As Reed Kelsey able to get in there safely at second base, but the Royals able to get the leadoff runner for the second out of the bottom of the sixth. And Gavin Gilbride has been kind of a spark plug for this team. Shows a lot of emotion when he plays. As you can hear behind me, the fans definitely like him and love to see the way that he plays the game. But in this game, he is stricken out and grounded out, so 0 for 2 start. Looking to change that here in this at-bat. Once again, Luke Filippi on the mound. At this point, you got to worry about pitch count. He's definitely throwing a lot of pitches in this game. First pitch not called. Once again, tried to go with that off-speed pitch. It dropped in the zone, but as it was crossing the plate, it was upstairs, so the ball was called. Goes with the off-speed once again. Doesn't get the call again to make a 2-0 count. Once again, the clap start here. 2-0 pitch is getting ready to be on the way. Luke Filippi looks back at first. 2-0 pitch, sets, fires, outside, snapback throw back at first. That ball's going to get by him once again. No movement, though, from Reed Kelsey at first base, as he read it a little bit too late. But that ball was definitely outside. So the count's going to be at 3-0 now. Let's see if we can get the classic 3-0 fastball strike, and we do, as per normal. The 3-1 pitch, probably expect Gavin Gilbride to take this pitch, unless it's a pitch that he likes. He's going to call time, swings, but he did get the time granted to him before anything happened. So the count remains at 3-1. Gonna try this again. No time called this time. Off-speed pitch, foul tipped into the glove for strike number 2. I believe Gavin thought he struck out because he swung at the previous pitch, but he didn't realize that time was called. So the count's gonna be 3-2 now. Luke Filippi looking to get this out. That one's ripped foul. He was sitting for the fastball there, and if it was a fastball, that would have been hit very well, but was in front of that pitch, which is the reason why he ripped it foul. So we redo the 3-2 pitch. That one high upstairs for ball number 4. You see an emphatic bat flip from Gavin Gilbride. And now the Whalers have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Up at plate, it's going to be Charles Schaefer, I believe. He's popped out and flown out in this game so far, and starts off this count down 0-1 after a Luke Filippi fastball. It's at the top of the zone, but he gets the swing and miss. Now the 0-1. Another fastball, this time to upstairs. To even up the count here at 1-1. One pitch, that one inside as well. To make the count 2-1. The scoreboard is reading 3-0, but it is most definitely a 2-1 count. The clap start again. swings, fouls it off. This time it doesn't get stuck in the backstop, so we get to retrieve the ball. Runners on first and second here in the bottom of the 6th inning with 2 outs. 2-2 the count here to Charles Schaefer, who's at the plate. Fastball clips the outside, gets that call that's been there the entire game. It's been called on both sides. It is a little bit outside, but it did get called for both sides, so he had to make that call for strike 3, which ends the bottom of the 6th inning. The Whalers unable to get any runs across in the bottom of the 6th inning. And as we head towards the top of the 7th, the Royals have one more chance to try to tie up this ball game, or else it looks like we're heading to a Game 3 back at Port Jeff. We'll figure all of that out here when we come back here to the Royal Sports Network. Last chance time here for the Royals as we go into the top of the 7th inning, as Dan Labrazzi looks to get a complete game here as he steps back onto the mound for his 7th inning of action. Once again, this is Port Jeff's last opportunity to try and tie back this ball game. And to start things off is going to be Danny Owens. First pitch, grounded to the third baseman, makes the play over there at first to get the first out of the top of the 7th inning. With that out, it's going to bring up Frankie Andriani. With 2 outs left in this ball game. First pitch from Labrazzi on this one. That one inside for ball number 1. Working fast as Labrazzi strikes another pitch, that time high again. First pitch was just inside. Second pitch high and up middle. Dan Labrazzi choosing his pitch, finds it, fires, goes, I believe, a changeup that went inside. Looks like he wanted to try out the changeup. Haven't seen that in this game so far. But the count's 3-0. That pitch outside, ball number 4. And the Royals have the tying run at first base. But once again, the Royals are in this situation where big spot, but it's the bottom of the order. Going to need big production coming from the bottom of the order if they want to stay alive in this game. And one of those players is going to be Evan Raymond, who we see at the plate right now. First pitch clips the bottom corner for strike number 1. 0-2 today for, and that single up actually makes the play for 1, able to safe at first base as they deem that Kelsey stepped off the bag. From my vantage point, I personally thought that play was made. I did see him kick his feet up there, but I thought he caught the ball before he got his feet up. But nonetheless, the Royals get another lifeline here in this game, which brings up Joey Aronica, who's walked and grounded out in this game. Initially, I thought Raymond was going to get that single through the infield, as that's going to get the coach of the Whalers just to talk to his pitcher, just to calm him down. This is a big moment, make sure he's ready to go. As once again, a tight strike zone against Joey Aronica. You're going to need to really fit it in there if you want to get the strike calls against him. The situation is as stands. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Royals have Evan Raymond at first base. Probably not going to be a big threat to steal. But nonetheless, you never know what they try and do here. Just had the coach of the Whalers talk to Dan Labrazzi, who's looking for a complete game if he's able to just get one more out here in this game. But he's got to have a tough job doing it against Joey Aronica. First pitch to him, upstairs for ball number 1. And I don't know, it's an interesting situation. If Aronica does get on first with a walk, gives Luke Filippi another chance to try and tie up this ball game. Evan Raymond at first, he's definitely feeling the jitters at first base. He's moving back and forth, doesn't want to make the last out at the plate. That pitch, ball number 2, as that one was a little bit too low. Count 2-0. Once again, Joey Aronica not really one to swing a lot because he gets a lot of ball calls. The 2-0 pitch. That one in there for strike number 1. The 2-1 pitch. That one in there, grounded towards the shortstop. He's going to try to make the play at first. Gets the play and ends the game. Dan Labrazzi gets a complete game and sends the Whalers to a game number 3, which will be at Port Jefferson Friday afternoon after a 2-1 victory here. The Pearson Whalers take over the Port Jefferson Royals. And what a strange particular game where we had ejections, we had chatter in between the players, a bunch of mess was happening in the game, but at the end of the day, the Royals fell to the Whalers in this one. It sends this championship series to a Game 3. Once again, that third game will be played on Friday afternoon at the Port Jefferson High School, and you will be able to listen to that game via myself, who will be there, and we'll see what happens in the third game of the series. Never know what's going to happen. But as for Game 2, Port Jeff Royals once again fall to the Pearson Whalers by a score of 2-1. This was the Port Jeff Royals varsity baseball Game 2 of a 3-game series now between the Royals and the Whalers. My name is Gabe Zoda, and I hope that everyone has a great rest of your day and night, and we'll see you Friday.